Good evening. This is Burlington Public Schools Assistant Superintendent Patrick Larkin along with Superintendent Eric Conti with our Burlington Public Schools weekly update for January 21st, 2022. Before we get into the upcoming changes to our COVID protocols, we want to share our student and staff absent data, which is continuing to trend downward as we head into our fourth week next week since the December break. First, the student and staff absence data from this week.
Thank you, Patrick. When we look at the student absences, we had 352 on the 18th, 345 students absent on the 19th, and 298 students absent district-wide on the 20th. And again, our staff absences over the same dates were 43, 35, and 47. So our high was 80 2 weeks ago of staff absences, and our high 2 weeks ago was 600 students. So you can see we've had a dramatic decline.
And with that, we'll head into our COVID protocol update. We're letting you know that in accordance with the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education and the Department of Public Health, our district is updating our COVID-19 guidelines with changes to begin this coming Monday, January 24th. In accordance with the state's updated language surrounding this new testing, which stated there is no longer the expectation that close contacts will be identified, and therefore any potential contacts do not need to quarantine. Instead, schools should shift their focus to monitoring symptomatic individuals.
So in a memo sent to schools Tuesday by Commissioner of Education Jeff Riley and the Acting Commissioner of Public Health Margaret Cook, they stated, and this is a quote, the data show that transmission from close contacts is a rare occurrence in schools, and that therefore extensive contact tracing and associated test and stay procedures are not adding significant value as a mitigation strategy despite the demand they place on the time of school in terms of health staff and school staff at large. As a result, we are recommending that school health personnel increase their focus on identifying symptomatic individuals rather than monitoring in-school close contacts who are unlikely to contract or spread the virus, end quote.
As a result of this new data, we are transitioning to an opt-in at-home testing program that will increase testing of our participating students and staff regardless of their vaccination status. The at-home testing option will be available during the week of January 31st, 2022 for students. In addition to this new at-home antigen test option, we will continue with symptomatic testing for students whose families have previously consented to in-school testing.
As a part of this shift in the program, we are discontinuing contact tracing for in-school close contacts beginning, again, Monday, January 24th, 2022. This means that if your child is a potential contact in school, they may continue to come to school and do not have to quarantine as long as they remain asymptomatic. In addition, if your child is determined to be a close contact out of school, then CDC guidelines should be followed. In other words, these protocol changes only apply to school situations. According to the CDC, unvaccinated children will still need to quarantine for 5 days if there is a positive in their home and they can't completely separate from that positive.
Even if you have already given consent to have your child or your children participate in the test and stay program, this new at-home testing opportunity is voluntary, and only those who opt in will receive tests. To restate, you will need to opt in to this new protocol. Your prior consent does not apply. We strongly encourage you to fill out the form to opt in and receive at-home tests for your students. If you have questions, please contact COVID questions at BPS, actually it's COVID concerns at bpsk12.org.
Thank you and have a good weekend.